Hey guys, welcome back to Young and Unscripted. I'm back with another video. How is everyone doing? How was January? I can't believe it's over. But now on to the next month, on to new things. I feel like as the second month of the year comes along, we need to keep up that same steam that we had in January because we all know what it's like to start January and want to do everything, and then it gets to February and it can start to tail off a little bit. So I think we want to just make sure that we're putting in that same motivation, same energy that we had in January all throughout the year. So I feel like it's good to have monthly and weekly check ins with our goals and what we're striving towards. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. I think I'm going to actually schedule some time to really sit down and see what I need to get done this month, what my goals are for this month specifically, and if I'm on track for my bigger goals of the year. Because I think it's all good having a vision board in January and then being like, okay, it's February now and I'm getting a bit, comfortable. So that is my little opening note and something that I've been thinking about this week. But I hope everybody's year is going well so far. Okay, on to the first dilemma. I'm afraid my potential is bigger than my courage. I've always been told I have so much potential, but lately that phrase feels like a threat rather than a compliment. I know I could do more, aim higher, take bigger risks, but I'm scared of failing publicly, especially now that people expect things from me. I sometimes think I'm holding myself back just so I can avoid disappointing others. How do you step into your potential without letting fear control every decision? I understand what you mean. It's like, first of all, when you're hearing you've got potential, it's like a really nice thing to hear. It's kind of affirming. It's like, oh, other people see the potential in me and I can make something big of myself. But I think when you keep hearing, oh, potential, potential, and you're like, oh, will I actually ever live up to it? It can be quite hard. Sometimes people use this phrase, you need to get out of your own way. And I really do think that that applies. I think sometimes we all do have a lot of potential. Every single person has potential in whatever they want to achieve or in something. Everyone has something to offer. But I think a lot of it is courage. The people that have courage often get somewhere. And I think it's something that I'm actually still working on. Sometimes I can feel like, okay, yeah, maybe I have some potential in some aspects, but will I actually break through and do all the things that I want to do and make those bold risks and go for it? And I think it's hard because sometimes we can be scared, like, oh, if I apply to this thing, then maybe I wouldn't be good enough. Or maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe when I'm like this, maybe when I have this sorted, when I've done this, I'll be ready. But really, as people always say, there's never the right time. So I think courage is something that may not come easy to all of us. It's not something that comes super easy to me. I think it's that thing in life where sometimes we have to work harder at things that don't naturally come to us. But just because it doesn't naturally come to us doesn't mean that we can't be good at it. I may not be naturally courageous, but I can push myself outside of my comfort zone and I can try and make those bold moves and go for what I want, even when it doesn't necessarily feel comfortable to me, because getting out of your comfort zone is then when you're going to see the progress. Don't be worried if you're not naturally courageous, but it's something that we can work on. I was at an acting class recently and he was talking about how this was in respect to acting, but he was saying, think of the gym. There's all a part in the gym where we feel most comfortable. So you could be like, okay, I feel comfortable like in the cardio section, or I feel comfortable in the weight sections, whatever. But there's a section where maybe we don't feel the most comfortable and we're like, oh, I hate that exercise. I'm not really good at it. My form, I don't really understand it. So we can avoid that when really what we need to do is we need to address that area the most. And he was talking about it in terms of acting. So the things that we feel weak in our acting, sometimes we shy away from them because we don't want to be embarrassed and we don't sometimes want to do things that we think we're going to fail at. But those areas are the things that need the most work. And once we master them, we'll really be unstoppable. So I think the fact that you have potential, but there is just something maybe blocking you and sometimes a bit of fear, that's okay. That's just something that you can work through and maybe set little goals and things for yourself that you can do to work through that. So, for instance, if you're sometimes scared of like applying to like open castings or something, maybe just try applying to them. Okay, you'll realize when if you don't hear back, that's fine. You just move on to the next one. But I think sometimes the fear of doing something is way worse than actually doing it. Even like the fear of failing, when you actually fail, you're like, okay, that's fine. and maybe it's a blow at first, but you do get up and move on from it. So I think fear is the thing that can debilitate the most. But I think it kind of only gets better through exposure therapy and actually doing it. Otherwise, we just build it up in our heads when actually we just need to like get on and do it. Okay, also, you said, I'm scared of failing publicly. I understand that. I think we can all naturally care what people think a lot more than we want to, but nobody is really that interested. And I think nobody's like, oh my gosh, they failed. And if they do, it doesn't really matter. You know who you are and you know yourself. And you're not a reflection of what other people think of you. They're not the person who has to go home and sit with you every day. That's you. You're the one who knows yourself the most. So you do really need to value your own opinion of yourself more than what other people are going to think, because people can love you one day and then you let that get your head, and then they don't like you the next, and then you're going to let that tear you down. You do just have to go for it. And people always say success often comes from like public failure or embarrassment at the start. When you're starting social media or a YouTube channel, for example, the first few times of you posting might feel embarrassing because you feel like, oh my gosh, I put so much effort in, nobody's watching it, I feel like it's flopping, this is embarrassing. But you have to push through that stage to then get to the part where then you are successful and you are getting loads of views. But nobody can just immediately have everything. I mean, you could blow up overnight, but if you don't, which, a lot of people don't, that's also okay too. And you just have to push past that stage, because otherwise, if we never wanted to get through that embarrassment and we just stayed there just scared that we would be embarrassed, so we never actually did anything, then we wouldn't get anywhere in life. So I think the best way to step into your potential is to really self-evaluate what things you could improve on, what you're already doing great, and think about your goals and the things you're scared of doing, and just really look at them and think, why am I scared of that? Okay, because people will judge me. People aren't going to care enough. I think also gradually work on building that courage. You don't have to then wake up tomorrow and do everything. Some people work like that and some people can do that. Some people do need a few gradual things and just start with a small thing. Okay, I did that, which was a bit out of my comfort zone and pushed my courage. And it was something I was a bit fearful of, a bit scared of, and I did it. And then you could move on to something slightly bigger. You've got so much potential. Don't let it go to waste just because you get so inside your own head. I think so many of us are so good at convincing ourselves out of doing something. We're like, okay, no, actually, because if I email these people, they probably wouldn't reply, so I'm not going to do it. And maybe if I had more to show, I would email them. Or I'm not going to go to that agency because da da da, so many things in life. I'm not going to post on social media because I could go on and on. It's so easy to do that, but you're already setting yourself up to fail by convincing yourself out of doing something. You cannot get anywhere from sitting at home and not doing anything. You might not get anywhere if you go out and send those emails and apply to things and post on social media or whatever it is you're going to do, but at least there is a chance that you could. And by putting yourself out there, something will come from it eventually. But if you just withhold yourself from doing that, it's a guaranteed 100% chance that you can't get anywhere. On to the next dilemma. I'm terrified that my success will cost me my softness. I want to be successful, like really successful. Absolutely. But I'm scared of becoming hardened, overly competitive, or emotionally closed off in the process. I don't want my ambition to turn me cold or make me someone I don't recognize. Is there a way to be driven and powerful while still staying gentle, kind, and emotionally open? I believe so. I think, I don't know, I just really think whatever you want to be in this life, you can be. And as long as you set those intentions, you'll become that person. Okay, a lot of people say to be successful, you need to be really cutthroat. And maybe there is an element of prioritizing yourself. And also, you do have to build a bit of a thicker skin because you're going to go through so much rejection and stuff like that. And maybe you will become competitive because it's a competitive industry. But what I would say is you don't have to become hardened and cold. You definitely adapt to your circumstances and become better and stronger. But that doesn't mean you have to lose your softness as a person. I think that's a misconception that you have to lose the essence and gentleness of yourself just to get somewhere. For instance, for myself, no matter what success I would get in this life, I would always like to be very much grounded and I think kindness and being soft and emotionally available is one of the beauties and joys of this world. And I really don't think that any success is worth losing that, losing your essence and losing your joy, really. You don't want to be the most successful person in the world, but somebody who doesn't have any joy or love or loved ones in their life. I think I say this a lot, but spend time with the people that you love. I feel like things like that really fill us up. And I also think that they can give us a bit of escapism because sometimes when you're chasing your dreams with your whole heart, you can lose sight of other things. So also spend time doing the things you love as well. Staying grounded is the absolute most important thing, and realizing even if you did get all that success, you are just still a human being and you're the same person. I understand why you are fearing that, because I think we also see this narrative of like, you need to go for your goals, you need to become the toughest, everything. And you're like, whoa, I still want to be like a human being and not a beast, a robot. um but I think, I always say, why choose in life? Why do you have to choose that? Okay, to be the most successful, I can't be a nice person, or I can't, have softness to me. I don't believe that you have to choose. I think you can have balance in your life. You can become what you want to be. And if being that way is something that's really important to you and is one of your core values, it will always be at the core of you. So I think throughout whatever you do, that's something that you'll always want in your character. Because I think somebody who maybe doesn't have that side to them, those values aren't going to be important as they progress in their career, whereas to you they are. So they'll continue to be. Really know your core values, your morals, and never compromise them for anything, like any job, anything that you want to do. Just always put those first, because I really do think those are the most fulfilling things in life, and the things that are most important to us at the end of the day. Also, it depends on what you're doing, but if you're doing something like artistic or creative or acting, or I suppose it probably comes into every career, but I know that, for instance, for acting, being emotionally available and soft and vulnerable is a huge part of being an actor. And without those, you're not really in touch with your emotions and you can't really do the job well. So I think in terms of acting, to act, you need to live. People always say that they like take breaks from acting sometimes to also fill up and live, because when you fill up and become a more experienced human and experience different things in life, you also become a more experienced and better actor. So they go hand in hand. And I expect that's with any career or job you want to go into. Experiencing life will inevitably give you more knowledge and it will propel you in your career anyway. And also, life is multifaceted. It doesn't just only have to be your career. You can have many aspects and facets to your life. On to the next dilemma. I feel like I'm faking my confidence. Everyone around me thinks I'm confident and doing well, but inside I constantly feel like I'm pretending. Whenever something good happens, I assume it's luck, not skill, and I'm scared one day I'll be exposed as not good enough. The more opportunities I get, the worse it feels. How do you stop imposter syndrome from making you shrink or sabotage the things you've worked hard for? I was literally about to say halfway through that it sounds like you're kind of going through imposter syndrome, which so many of us go through, honestly. Like, it's so funny when we look at somebody else and they do something incredible, or we see someone in a really great position. We're like, wow, like they deserve that. They're so knowledgeable, they're so talented, they're amazing. And then if we get ourselves in a good position or get a good opportunity, we're quick to be like, oh my gosh, everybody's going to find out that I'm not qualified for this, that I'm not good enough. And I feel like I actually don't really know what I'm doing. And all of these things cross our mind. But I think there's this thing in life where we kind of think that the people who have made it, they have this kind of secret knowledge that we don't know when, and they have it all figured out. But that's kind of not really the case. You can't, as you get older, I think you realize that everybody is literally just a human being. We're all the same. Obviously, some people are really talented and they have experience, but you can also be that too, and you'll get the experience the more stuff you do. And sometimes we don't know how much we actually already know and how much we've already achieved. Don't downplay your achievements, and imposter syndrome is definitely something you have to work through. I honestly genuinely think that literally every single person at some point goes through this. So you're not alone in this. And sometimes, for instance, when you said you feel like you're faking confidence, I mean, have you seen that thing of Rihanna when she says, when they say, what do you feel on those days where you're not feeling your best or whatever it is? And she says, pretend, you know? Oh, she's like, what am I going to do? Cry myself to bed every night? And I think if you're feeling, kind of rough or you're not feeling great one day and you still go outside and say, no, I'm going to be confident, I'm going to push myself, that's not you faking it. That is just you inevitably fighting for yourself. You're just like pushing yourself to be confident and go for your dreams no matter how you're feeling. And that's such a beautiful thing. We can't always go out into the world and, like, when we're having a rough day, show everyone that. We want to like compose ourselves, and that skill is something that is good. And to be able to project confidence and still go about your day even when you're going through hard things is a really incredible thing. Obviously you always have to let yourself feel, but sometimes we do have to fake it until we make it. And you're also saying the more opportunities I get, the worse it feels. I think you need to realize that you really deserve this. I think that's one of the hardest things. We can feel like we don't deserve things and that other people are more equipped, or we're quick to talk ourselves out of why, we got this opportunity. But you do deserve it. If you landed these opportunities, they were 100% meant for you and you were made for them, and you deserve it. And just relish in the opportunities, just keep on working hard and doing what you're doing. Walk into those rooms prepared. If those opportunities keep on coming, you're clearly doing something right. Don't punish yourself. There's no reason to. And sometimes we have to unlearn things. I actually saw this video once about how we have to rewire our nervous systems to kind of actually accept good things when they come into our lives. Sometimes when an opportunity comes along, our nervous systems feel like they panic. They're like, oh my gosh, this is too big, too good for me, or that amount of money is too much for me, because we don't feel safe having that much power and opportunity and abundance. The supplies on this earth are limitless and we're meant to have all of that, but we've been conditioned to think we don't deserve it and we shouldn't have it. So we need to start, unconditioning ourselves and really think, no, I deserve this. If there's a spot in that film, why shouldn't it be me? Why does it have to be someone else? I remember Sienna telling me that that's what Michael B. Jordan said. He used to say, well, why not me? And it's so true. Why not me? Really be kind to yourself and realize that you are worth it and you deserve everything that's coming your way. And nobody's a better human being than you. We're all literally equal. No amount of like money or success changes anything. We're still all just humans figuring life out. It's all of our first times living and we're figuring it out. So if you don't know something, don't let that alarm you. And that's a wrap on this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Thank you for watching Young and Unscripted, and tune into the next episode.